of Transportation for America.
Good morning, Chairman DeFazio, ranking members, and distinguished members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on behalf of Transportation for America this morning. My name is Fred Jones, and in addition to representing the citizens of Neptune Beach as their vice mayor, I also work as a professional transportation planner for Michael Baker International and also serve on the advisory committee for the National Complete Streets Coalition. Complete Streets, for those that are unfamiliar with the term, is a street that's designed to be safe and convenient for all users, be they drivers, transit users, pedestrians, and cyclists. Unfortunately, my community is part of the 6th most dangerous metropolitan area in the country in which to walk and bike. In fact, the state of Florida is the most dangerous state in the union for cyclists and pedestrians, and these safety trends are going in the wrong direction. If you, in fact, were to visit and join my family on the streets that I walk and bike on a daily basis, I think you would agree that they're not dangerous by accident, but dangerous by fundamental design. Part of the problem is that for the better part of the half-century, we've been focused on building bigger, faster roadways with wider lanes and development that's set back from the road to make our drivers more comfortable as they move quickly through our communities, all at the cost of human lives. In fact, roadways are often designed for travel speeds that are 10 to 15 miles an hour faster than what the posted speed limit is, and we do know that drivers will follow this design cue. We know that speed leads to more deadly crashes, especially for the children that are walking to school or a bus patron that's walking to the stop on their way to work, who lack the protection of thousands of pounds of steel and aluminum. What is particularly frustrating is our acceptance of this level of danger and the loss of human life. We have a cure, but we just do not want to use it. I do want to preface that there are many states and communities across the country, and namely the Florida Department of Transportation, that should be applauded for adopting robust complete street policies and initiatives to change these unsafe paradigms. However, what we're seeing is a major disconnect between what we think are feel-good policy frameworks and the actual implementation of safe roadways. As an illustration, there was a state road in my area where the district safety office had recommended actually removing a lane to reduce the crossing distance for pedestrians and make it safer. Well, what ended up happening, there was a little bit of community pushback, and so the agency conceded by growing the forecasted traffic rates and essentially killed what should have been a legacy project, and all in the name of future traffic congestion. And even in instances when the traffic volumes are low enough to warrant building a complete street, we'll often hear excuses that the road's a parallel reliever to an interstate, or it's an evacuation route, or in fact, we're too far along in the design process to do anything different. Yet there are many many roadways in our community where you could probably roll a bowling ball down the road on any given day and not hit anything. Nationally, Congress communicates its federal priorities through spending, and while we do spend over $40 billion in federal funds annually in the highway program, less than $1 billion of this is often reserved for pedestrian and cyclist infrastructure, and only $2.3 billion is dedicated to safety. If you visit this committee's website, the issue profiled is the cost of congestion, and I get it, congestion is very inconvenient and annoying. But the cost of congestion is roughly equivalent to the cost of those 37,000 lives that were lost on our roadways in 2017, a cost of over $356 billion. And that doesn't include the cost of injuries, which we know number in the millions, yet safety spending represents a mere fraction of the money that's spent on the congestion. In 2012, Congress created a less than optimal performance management system that required MPOs and DOTs to set these performance safety targets, including for cyclists and pedestrians. Yet in 2017, 18 states have set performance targets forecasting more deaths for cyclists and pedestrians on their roadways. Simply put, we do know how to do better. In Orlando, for example, the Florida Department of Transportation redesigned Edgewater Drive by taking a travel lane and reconfiguring the road to make it more safe for pedestrians and cyclists. What were the results? Total collision dropped 40%, injury rates declined 71%, pedestrian counts increased 23%, cycling increased by 30%, and traffic actually dropped 12% before returning to original levels. Most significantly, the corridor gained 77 new businesses and 560 jobs, while the value of property along this corridor rose 80%. Unfortunately, these projects, more often than not, are the exception. Engineers often have to get special approval to implement them in a process that can take more than a year. So why wouldn't we want this to be the rule? As we bring up reauthorization, we're strongly urging Congress to lead a discussion about what it is that we plan to achieve, not just how much we're going to spend. We need to set specific measurable goals, particularly in terms of safety and livability benefits, and hold decision makers accountable for reaching them. Above all, this program needs to be oriented to create safer transportation system for all users. Thank you again for your leadership and inviting me to testify today, and I look forward to working with you in the next upcoming reauthorization.